Alright, I don't know if we're going. Alright, it says excellent. I'm gonna do all chat so I can see us, because like there's like no one. So yeah, alright. I have no idea. Hey, what's up? It is I, Rob G. I'll get there eventually. Check it out. Donald Trump is a bad man. For real. Donald Trump is a bad man. Wait, no, that's not how you. How do I do it? I do it. There's a certain way I can do it where, like, I can make it hit just right, where it's just the right sound, but I don't know how. Anyways, here, let me switch over. Bah. So it is I. Yes, I was formerly hosting a show called Redstone Lapis Lazuli on Minecraft, but like I don't know how well it was doing. Anyways, um, and really I stopped playing the game. I wasn't really interested in the game anymore. I was more interested in like just talking. And a lot of times I would have to go out and clip things so people could see what I'm talking about and like make a narrative. But that became really time consuming and tedious, and like it'd be better if we could just go along together on the magical browser and see the same thing, right? So I have a nice clean browser, like nothing in there, nothing's in it. Nothing's on there. So it's nice and safe for me. Oh no. Well, that's Donald Trump. All right, yeah, here, sorry. I didn't know Infraview was up, but hey, that's okay, right? Anyways, yeah, Donald Trump is a bad guy. For real. For real. Donald Trump is a bad guy. Uh um where shall we begin, right? Where can we begin on this magical journey of Donald Trump as a bad guy? I mean, okay, like here, let me lay the background down, right? Let me lay it down for a bit. All right. So back before there was the election, um, word was put out that I think it was the Heritage Foundation, uh, that they put out a document called Project 2025, and it was filled with horrible things. Like you could just like pick out bits of it and be like, "Oh, that's horrible. It will never happen." But I mean, like, hopefully, it never happens, right? That's what they want to do. Like, well, Donald Trump got into office, and that's exactly what's been happening. The whole Project 2025 has been happening, which basically is like a takeover of the United States government, an overthrow of democracy. So, it's what we're witnessing right now here in the United States. So, um, like one tell of a fascist government is that prominent comedians can no longer uh, make fun of the regime. When the regime starts taking down comedians, it means it's turning authoritarian. Because under a democracy, the government can't stop a comedian from saying whatever he wants about the government. He can say whatever. It's freedom of speech. It's freedom of speech. And yet, now we have Donald Trump taking down journalists and comedian. Well, he started first on the fringes, right, with Mahmoud Khalil. He started on the very, very fringes. Mahmoud Khalil is a Palestinian. I think he's American too. No, maybe not American, but he's a Palestinian and he's here legally. He has legal documentation to be here. And he was a student, I think, at Columbia. And in the past, he had participated in or maybe even organized pro-Palestine, anti-genocide protests, right? At the university. Totally legal, and he's a legal resident. He's allowed to do it, right? He has the right. I mean, even if you're not a legal resident, you have the right to free speech because the Constitution applies to you whether or not you're a citizen. It applies to everyone. So, I mean, I'm making these truth claims, anyways. So, one of the fundamental freedoms of the United States, the First Amendment, the very First Amendment, is freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. And Donald Trump, or I'm sorry, Jimmy Kimmel made fun of Donald Trump and made him look real bad, which is easy because it's Donald Trump. But now Donald Trump is a wannabe dictator. I mean, he's an old man. He's gonna die. He's wearing makeup on his hands to hide the bruise that will not go away. That bruise is gonna be there forever because he's a 79-year-old man, and he's got serious health problems. Anyways, uh, but he got mad. His ego got bruised, and so he leaned like he's a mob boss. So he just he controls the FCC head, uh, FCC, yeah, which broadcast stuff, and the head of the FCC. Bop, 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 bop. I hope it's going. Did it reconnect? I don't know what happened. My sound just died. It just died. It just went boom. You're done. Nani? Here, I'm gonna look me up. Oh, here I can do it over here. Let's go to YouTube.com. We're gonna look for what's the name of this? Free speech Canary. Donald Trump is a bad man. There we go, right here. Is a bad man. Oh, hey, and my sound is working. Oh no, there we go, right here. Like all crazy. Ooh, oh no, I didn't need to do that. Okay, now I gotta figure it out. Let's see. Oh no. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Edge. Is it on guest mode still? I think so. I want to make sure it's on guest mode. Browse as guest. Alright, there it is. Sorry. Alright, it's working. It's still working. Okay. Donald Trump's a bad man. Um, so what I was saying was it's a fascist takeover. It's a fascist takeover. They no longer abide by the Constitution or the laws. Like, Donald Trump never went to trial. Why didn't he go to trial? Because John Roberts, the Supreme Court justice, sat on the case until it was too late. That's why. So yeah. So Jimmy Kimmel, here, why don't you see it for yourself? I keep talking about the Jimmy Kimmel. Like, why don't you look at what he said? Let's see what he said. Is this it? Which one is it?
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang.
Oh no, here. Can you even see it? Let me add source. Uh, video. Okay, window. VLC. No, add existing. Media player classic. Okay, yeah, there we go. Check this out. All right, so this is the message that got Jimmy Kimmel kicked off the air. He got fired. No, I want to be on top. I'm the top here. Me. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is the shit that got Jimmy Kimmel in trouble. We're gonna watch it. All right, here we go.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing.
So at that time, that's what the evidence pointed to. that the killer was one of them. Okay, that is MAGA. All right. Because his dad's MAGA, his whole family's MAGA, he was MAGA. They had pictures of him riding a Donald Trump, a Pepe. You know who a Pepe? Pepe is like a fucking cartoon frog. That the Groypers are a right wing like club, like extreme right wing club. That revolves around this stupid fucking frog named Pepe. That the creator never intended for it to go in that direction, but it just got appropriated, taken away from him, like in a way, like they just took it and ran with it. And anyways, there's a picture of what's his name, Tyler Robinson. There's a picture of Tyler Robinson like riding a Donald Trump Pepe, a Donald Trump Pepe, like. And so, like, everyone assumed the dude was a right-winger. And so Jimmy Kimmel saying that MAGA is trying to do everything they can to not... It's saying that it's not working. Is that true? Open widget. Poor. Interesting. I wonder why. Is it in the broadcast? Maybe I didn't check the there should be plenty. Settings. Output stream. Yeah, dude, there should be plenty. That's weird. Anyways. Anyways. So they're trying to anyways. So they tried to paint it on trans people, because the goal of MAGA right now, the MAGAs, is, at least the leadership, is they want to demonize trans people however they can. Think about like how in Germany, in Nazi Germany, the Nazis would make the Jewish people wear gold stars on them. So the current the American Nazi regime is trying to get trans people to like have their quote gold star put on them, to like mark them as bad people. And even though that the trans person had nothing to do with it, but they try to pin it on them anyways. So Jimmy Kimmel is like speaking correct this whole time.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. and it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. Okay. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. There's demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay? And it didn't just happen once.
When I heard it, I was in the midst of, building a great, for 150 years, they've wanted a ballroom at the White House, right? They don't have a ballroom. They have to use tents on the lawn for President Xi when he comes over. If it rains, it's a wipeout. And so I was with the architects. It's going to be incredible. And they came in, they said, Charlie Kirk is dead. I didn't know what they meant. I said, he's dead. Charlie Kirk was shot. And they thought he was dead because it was so horrific, And I said, dead.
And then we installed the most beautiful chandelier, sconces you wouldn't believe. We hit some new lows.
Because of that, because of this monologue, they kicked him off. Donald Trump got so mad that they forced him off the air. Is that not fucked up? Is that not fucked up? What did he say? He said zero. Nothing. He said nothing. He made fun of Donald Trump. That's why they kicked him off. Because he made fun of Donald Trump. Now, let me show you. I'm going to show you the double standard. Here is Brian Kilmeade. He's on Fox. Listen to Brian Kilmeade's solution to the homeless situation plaguing America. Listen to what he suggests should be our solution. Listen.
Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan.
Oh, no, wrong one. Right here.
We feel so compassionate because you see the mental health crisis happening.
Exactly.
And it's not our job. We shouldn't have to live in fear. Put them in a mental institution. Put them in a jail.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
We feel so compassionate because you see the mental health crisis happening.
Exactly.
And it's not our job. We shouldn't have to live in fear.
What?
Put them in a mental institution. Put them in a jail.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something.
Wait, what? Involuntary lethal injection? Involuntary lethal injection? Or something?
Just kill them.
Just kill him? Holy shit! Brian Kilmeade just suggested that we inject homeless people involuntarily and just kill them. That's his solution to the homeless problem. He's a fucking Nazi. He just said it out loud, just like boom. Isn't that way worse than what Jimmy Kimmel said? I mean, don't you think that's something incredibly crazy? Like, how is that even possible? That this guy still got a job. He just suggested that we involuntarily inject homeless people and kill them.
We feel so compassionate because you see the mental health crisis happening.
Here, listen. I don't want you to think that I'm like making it up. Let me give you the longer clip so you have more what's that called? Context.
Billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you and...
Let me get rid of one of these. I think I somehow I doubled up. Yeah, my poor video card, right?
Or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Yeah, Brian, why did it
happen? Like, he's so casual about it. Do it again.
Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Yeah, Brian, why did it have to get to this point?
Right. I would say this. We're not voting for the right people. In North Carolina.
They just roll with it. They just roll with it. Like, they don't even hear it. Oh my God. Do you see what kind of society we live in? Holy shit. So they knocked off Jimmy Kimmel from the air over his fucking criticism of Donald Trump, and they kept this Brian Kilmeade guy when he suggested we involuntarily lethally inject homeless people and just kill them. How come he's still even there? Oh my God. It's the same way that all the January 6th insurrectionists all got a pardon. Yeah, dude, Charlie Kirk was a bad guy. So Donald Trump is a bad guy, for sure, right? We know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. And that's why he's working so hard to make sure it doesn't come to light. Like, the Democrats try to pass a bill to make it happen, and the Republicans blocked it in both the House and the Senate. Like, it only passed the House because a few Republicans jumped ship and wanted to release the Epstein files. But all the other Republicans voted to keep them secret. And the same thing in the Senate. But that time in the Senate, I don't think any Republicans flipped over. Anyways. Charlie Kirk, so Charlie Kirk is a bad guy. Or was a bad guy. He was a bad guy. Do you know who is Lee Atwater? So, Lee Atwater was the campaign manager for Ronald Reagan. And Lee Atwater's genius, well, quote, genius, was something called the Southern Strategy. The Southern Strategy was the idea of using racism to win elections. But Lee Atwater was super racist. He was super racist, but he understood, and he this is and he gave. So I'm saying this, but this is what he said, right? There's a recorded interview of him saying this, so it's not something like brand new, not something I'm making up, but this is him reasoning that if he wants to still reach those racist voters, he's got to find a way to communicate to them that doesn't trigger the normies, quote. I mean, he doesn't say it like that, but that's what he means. He's like, I got to find a way to talk to my people that doesn't trigger the normies. So he devised, he calls it the Southern Strategy, and he said at first you start out by saying N-word, but then as time goes on, that starts to hurt, because people become aware of racism, and they don't like racism, overt racism. So you have to tone down your overt racism, but you still have to find a way of communicating to those racist voters. So you find other ways of signaling towards the people that you think. So you say something like, "Oh, we're actually against forced busing." Right. Well, what is forced busing? It was the civil rights era idea that I don't know what is forced busing. When they refer to forced busing, what are they talking about? Forced busing. Here, let's do a forced busing. Desegregation busing. Desegregation busing, also known as integrated busing, forced busing, or simply busing, was an attempt to diversify the racial makeup of schools in the United States by transporting students to more distant schools with less diverse student populations. While the 1954 Supreme Court landmark decision in Brown v. Board of Education declared racial segregation in public schools unconstitutional, many American schools continued to remain largely racially homogeneous. In an effort to address this ongoing de facto segregation in schools, the 1971 Supreme Court decision, Swan v. Charlotte-Mecklenburg Board of Education, ruled that the federal courts could use busing as a further integration tool to achieve racial balance. Busing meant considerable opposition from both white and black people. The policy may have contributed to the movement of large numbers of white families to suburbs of large cities, a phenomenon known as white flight, which further reduced the effectiveness of the policy. Many whites who stayed moved their children into private or I can't even say that, parochial schools. These effects combined to make many urban school districts predominantly non-white, reducing any effectiveness mandatory busing may have had. Anyways, so here, in fact, why don't I just show you instead of me talking about it? Lee Atwater, right? This is way better. Lee Atwater. Harvey Leroy Lee Atwater was an American political consultant and strategist for the Republican Party. He was an advisor to Republican U.S. Presidents Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush and chairman of the Republican National Committee. Atwater arose controversy through his aggressive campaign tactics, especially the Southern Strategy. What is the Southern Strategy? In American politics, the Southern Strategy was a Republican Party electoral strategy to increase support among white voters in the South by appealing to racism against African Americans. As the civil rights movement and dismantling of Jim Crow laws in the 1950s and 1960s visibly deepened existing racial tensions in much of the southern United States, Republican politicians such as presidential candidates Richard Nixon and Barry Goldwater developed strategies that successfully contributed to the political realignment of many white conservative voters in the South who had traditionally supported the Democratic Party so consistently that the voting pattern was named the Solid South. Strategy also helped to push the Republican Party much more to the right. By winning all of the South, a presidential candidate could obtain the presidency with minimal support elsewhere. The phrase Southern Strategy simply refers primarily to top-down narratives of the political realignment of the South, which suggests that the Republican leaders consciously appealed to many white Southerners' racial grievances to gain their support. This top-down narrative of the Southern Strategy is generally believed to be the primary force that transformed Southern politics following the Civil Rights era. The scholarly consensus is that racial conservatism was critical in the post-civil rights realignment of the Republican and Democratic parties, though several aspects of this view have been debated. Anyways, I need to find what he said, his famous quote. Lee Atwater. So I want to go back to Lee Atwater. He did the Southern Strategy, right, which is using racism to attract voters. And but he described his technique in an infamous paragraph, and now I can't find it. So I'm gonna try another way. Pictures, screenshots. I take so many screenshots though, right? So like, it's like digging through like trauma, compiled trauma. Okay, there it is. I got it, man. I hope I don't get like. Is it gonna pop up? Here I can maybe do like this. Snip. And I can do on the fly editing. Or okay. and then I just go like that and go like this. Okay, so I'm gonna add a new thing, a new source, a new window. It's gonna be snipping tool. Select the window to capture. It's not working. Yeah, it's not gonna work, man. You have to save it first. Here. Save. Oh, here, download. Sure, right now. Just save it right now. Okay, so we gotta go to downloads. Like that. Oh, you know what? Is it already up there? In frame rate. It is. It's just hidden. Put it up here. Okay. So this is Lee Atwater, right? This is his quote. This is what explains it. Lee Atwater said, "You start out in 1954 by saying N-word, N-word. But by 1968, you can't say N-word. That hurts you. Backfires. So you say stuff like forced busing, states' rights, and all that stuff. And you're getting abstract. Now you're talking about cutting taxes, and all these things you're talking about are totally economic things and a byproduct of them is blacks get hurt worse than whites. We want to cut this is much more abstract than even the busing thing, and a hell of a lot more abstract than N-word, N-word." So what he's talking about, he said that back in the 1980s, but we understand it now to what he's talking about as coding. He's talking about coding the language, right? This is like the proto start of it, of how they manipulate language. But that's what they did. Part of the Southern strategy was, the realignment of the political parties. They took the racist white people in the South and who voted forever for the Democrats, right? Because the Democrats used to be the party of the Confederacy. So that's what they were, right? But then through this strategy, they got the Southern racists to leave the Democratic Party and join the Republican Party. And that's how they got power. That's how Nixon, I don't know if Nixon did it. I don't know. But I know for sure, Atwater was the dude for Ronald Reagan. And Reagan was shit. I hate Reagan. So, anyways, this is like the beginning of them encoding language. So now, when they say things like, now we're at the stage where they say things like they appropriate language. For them, woke is a proxy for a word they don't like. Woke becomes a pejorative instead of what it really means. So Lee Atwater started back in 1970s. This guy, they've been using racism for fucking ever. Because they're Nazis. That's what it is, right? Donald Trump is just the latest iteration of Nazis. MAGA is the American way of saying Nazi. But that's what these people are, right? Their tradition comes from the slavers. They call us woke. What does that mean? What does that mean? Woke is just short for awaken. And what does it mean to be awoken? It means to be enlightened. And what age was this country founded in? The Age of Enlightenment. Yeah, dude, I already pay you by the month. Thanks. All right. The Age of Enlightenment, also known as the Age of Reason, was a period of European history, primarily in the 18th century, during which the Enlightenment, an intellectual and philosophical movement, flourished. Characterized by an emphasis on reason, empirical evidence, and scientific method, the Enlightenment promoted ideals of individual liberty, religious tolerance, and progress and natural rights. Its thinkers advocated for constitutional government, the separation of church and state, and the application of rational principles to social and political reform. So fuck yeah, dude, I'm woke. I love woke. I'm an American. I love woke. Woke is fantastic. Woke is the very basis of what we're about, right? Of course. Like, anyone who's against woke is crazy. like, like, whose team are you on if you're not on Team Woke? It's real simple, man. Like, I just don't know what to tell you. Fuck yeah, I'm woke. I like woke people. I mean, what are we doing here? Like, that's why I look at people like RFK Jr. and I'm like, dude, the guy is a joke. He's not woke, he's a joke. RFK Jr. is a joke. It's totally not, none of his shit is scientific. He defies all the science. He hates the science. That's what's so funny. Like, RFK Jr. is just a fucking quack, dudes. Like, he's just dumb. So he's already fucked up here with our Enlightenment idea of reason and empirical evidence and scientific method, right? So, like, the guy's terrible. Why would you even want to follow him? Like, that's what I'm trying to get you to see, that they're like the opposite. They're the opposite of this, right? Of us. Who are we? We're the Americans, right? We are. We're a country that founded on individual liberty, religious tolerance, progress, and natural rights. That's what we are. Remember it. Don't forget. Like, it's like, of course. Yeah, like, what, you're not this? You're not about religious freedom, separation of church and state, constitutional government? That's not what you're about? Holy shit, that sounds kind of fascist. So, yeah, it's really interesting. We're in really interesting times. And the fact that Donald Trump could stamp out comedians that make fun of him is bullshit. Is absolute bullshit. Donald Trump is a bad man. Through and through. Through and through. Charlie Kirk, bad man. Here, listen.
The writer accuses Charlie of saying, and I quote, "Black women do not have brain processing power to be taken seriously." But if you go and watch the clip, the very clip she links to, you realize he never said anything like that. He never uttered those words.
Really?
If we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know.
No. Total mischaracterization. Total mischaracterization of what's going on. Misframing of it. Misframing of it. See, he's about to say, oh, affirmative action is a bad thing. And what they mean is, under the old system, those women wouldn't be there, not because they're not qualified, but because they're women. And they didn't let women be in that position. Who's they? The men. It's a patriarchy. It's patriarchy. You can't fucking, like, men are holding positions of power. That's what it is. But that's what they're about, right? Whereas the woke people, the enlightened people, are about freedom, right? And what is freedom? Part of freedom is freedom of or control of your own body. And for a long time, women have been repressed because of their biological proclivity to produce children. Not proclivity. What am I talking about, dude? Because women bear children. So because they're the ones who bear the children, they're the ones who get stuck with a lower status in a lot of cases, because they're the ones stuck with the child care. So I say stuck with, right? But I mean, I don't know, right? I mean, kinda, right? Whereas Elon Musk can just go fucking city hop and do whatever he wants, right? And fuck as many women as he wants, as impregnate as many women as he wants, and he doesn't have to sit around and like raise them. He lets other people do that shit. See, Elon Musk is a bad man. But anyways, so Charlie Kirk already is full of shit, right? Before we even get there. Now let's keep going.
No. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously.
So yeah, dude, he just said, oh, these black women don't have the brain processing power to be taken seriously. Charlie Kirk just said that. He just said that. JD Vance fucking lies like he breathes. He just easily lies. Just flows from him. The shit flows from JD Vance. It's so polished. It's so crazy. Because he's full of shit. We just saw it. Here, let's redo it, right? So you know I'm not fucking up.
That Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously.
Holy shit, that's fucking racist. Charlie Kirk's a fucking racist. Did you hear that? He called black women stupid. They went to all the same schools. They sat in the same classes. They did the same work. They write the same amount of papers. They did all the fucking work. But Charlie Kirk's like, no, you stole the white person's spot. Why is it a white person's spot? Like, did you see? He's so steeped in his racism, he can't even fucking see it. Charlie Kirk was a piece of shit. Fuck Charlie Kirk. Oh, people are mourning him. Yeah, like, it's pretty fucked up, right? I do not advocate for political violence. Because once you go down that road of violence, like, it's a bad, dark path. Everything starts breaking down. The whole point, remember, right? That's where we fucking came from, was political violence. That's where we fucking came from. Like, there's no, like, nice way of handing power over in other systems. Like, Vladimir Putin is not going to get a nice retirement. Like, he already tried. He already tried, like, 25 years ago. He tried to hand it off to, like, some other dude. And, like, he'd just hide out hang out in the background without having to work so hard. Dude couldn't hack it, couldn't follow it, so he had to take over again. And now he's like, the longer he goes, the weaker he gets. Vladimir Putin. He's an old man. Like, he's not, like, all men get old. I'm gonna get old. I feel good now, right? But I'm gonna get old. Let's hope. If I'm blessed enough to get old. And but it happens to everyone, right? If you don't die, you get old. But there's not going to be any retirement for him. There's no way out because he's a gangster. He's a fucking dictator. Like, the person who's going to take over is the person who kills him and seizes power and maybe doesn't get killed themselves. because it's a dictatorship. Political violence is the nature of their shit. Like, you don't have freedom of speech in Russia. They will fucking kill you. Like, if you're a journalist and you write a paper critical of Putin, they will send people over to your apartment and throw you out the window. They do it all the time. If you're Russian and you run away from Russia to the West and try to live your life like independent of Russia, but you betray Russia somehow, I don't know how, but they will send assassins to come kill you. How do I know this? Because they fucking did it. They fucking did it to some dude in London, and the assassin threw away the poison bottle in the trash can. And I don't know if it's a homeless guy or what, but some dude found the bottle, thought it was pretty, and then gave the bottle to his girlfriend, and they both died from Russian poison. So it's fucked up, dude. We don't want to go down the path of political violence. It's fucked up. Like, if you have the idea of justice, then like. Now here's the thing, right? We were born of violent revolution. That's what we were born from, right? Okay, so, but isn't the reason why we made like the Constitution the way we did was that we can amend it and change it to make it fit with the way things are now. The problem is we can't fucking move it. It's ossified. It's frozen. It's like a World War I trench warfare. Like, where the lines are pretty locked and they're just like scrambles to gather territory or whatever, and then in the process you're torching the fucking fabric of the community. I don't know, but Charlie Kirk is a bad guy, and they're trying to lionize him and make him into like some like I don't know what they're trying to do. Well, I do know what they're trying to do. They're trying to use Charlie Kirk's death the same way George W. Bush used 9/11. Did you hear me? Donald Trump and the MAGA are trying to use Charlie Kirk's death the same way that George W. Bush used 9/11. After 9/11, the American people were all fucking amped up, dude. It was crazy. It was crazy. Like, it was nuts, because before 9/11, everyone hated W. Bush. He was a dumb fuck. He was stupid. He looked dumb. He acted poorly as a representative of the United States. So they made fun of him all the time. Like, and he didn't win the election, right? Like, more people voted for Al Gore than I believe, right? Let me see. Who won? Let's see. Gore v. Bush popular vote. Ah, Gore won the popular vote. Gore won the popular vote. You see right here, popular vote. So Gore should have been president, but W. Bush took over instead. So everyone was clowning on him, and then 9/11 happened, and everyone rallied around G.W. Bush, and he's the one who sent us into Afghanistan at first. And from what I hear is, from my reading, from my fucking internet search, I figured out that the Taliban were like, oh, you think he did it? Okay, just give us proof and we'll grab him and like ship him off to you. And the Americans wouldn't do it. They wouldn't take the proof. They just wanted to like invade. So they did, right? Because he wasn't even there. He was in fucking Pakistan. But we didn't find that out later until fucking Obama, right? Obama's the one who got him. Bin Laden. Anyways. So George W. Bush goes into Afghanistan, right? And that should have been it. But then George W. Bush used the pain and trauma of 9/11 to steer the American people to go to war into Iraq, who had nothing to do with it at all, with 9/11 at all. They had nothing to do with it. They had nothing to do with it. But for some reason, I guess I could go look it up. There's a project for the New American Century. The neocons, the neoconservatives, I don't know if they wanted to create a new like American empire or what, but they invaded Iraq, which was crazy, which was like the stupidest thing ever. It was incredibly stupid. His dad, H.W. Bush, did Operation Desert Shield, because the whole point of the whole point of the United States of being in the Middle East is to be the quote security guarantor, the entity that secures your position as the leader of your country. So if you're the leader of your Middle Eastern country and you're aligned with the United States, you don't need to maintain a ginormous army to tamp down on dissent and stuff. You have because if anyone challenges if any nation state challenges you, the United States will guarantee that your security is preserved. That's the nature of being a security guarantor. and in the first Gulf War, Iraq invaded Kuwait, and Kuwait called to the United States and said, hey, United States, you're supposed to guarantee my integrity, my security, and look what's happening. You better come, save me. And the United States said, because the United States has to, right? If people don't believe, if you say I'm going to guarantee your security and you don't guarantee security, people aren't going to believe you anymore. And if they don't, then they're not going to be your ally, your quote ally, and then they won't do business with you anymore because you can't be trusted anymore. So the United States was obligated to go rescue Kuwait from Iraq, but H.W. Bush didn't fully overthrow Iraq, even though he could have, right? Nothing stopping him. He could have done it right then, but he didn't, because he knew it would have been a clusterfuck. So he didn't even try. He established no-fly zones and left it at that. Because his whole point is to be the security guarantor. You stay within the line, stay in your sandbox, stay in the lines that we drew, and keep a lid on things, and everything's fine. That was the American position. So when W. Bush decided to go into Iraq, there was no reason. There was no reason whatsoever to do it. Zero reason to go there. but they did, and the way they did it was they took the pain and the anger and the trauma from 9/11 and they transposed it to Iraq and made people hate Iraq and say all sorts of bad things about Arab people. It was awful. And Muslim people. It was awful. And the Republicans did that. So I see Republicans Donald Trump doing the same play that they did back then in the early aughts. They're taking the trauma of Charlie Kirk's death and they're using it to attack all the enemies of all the enemies of the fascists. Well, who are the enemies of the fascists? Well, people who are against the fascists. What does it mean to be against fascism? To be anti-fascist? See, it's not really easy to label. There's no definition to it other than being against fascism, right? Right? That's what it means to be anti-fascist. To be anti-fa, if you want to shorten it. Is to be against fascism. But if there's no label to it, then the government can put it on anyone they want to, and then call that person a terrorist, and then take away all their liberty, and defy the Constitution. That's why they're fascists. They're fucking evil. Donald Trump is a bad man. That's why we have to fight them. We have to, and when I say fight them, I don't mean like necessarily like fist fight violence. This battle is taking place on many planes like of existence. Many planes of existence. Pick a plane. Pick a plane and manifest your energies there. So yeah, hang in there. The Epstein files are coming. They can't block them forever. And when the Epstein files come out, there'll be I mean, like, I don't know how much more undeniable proof you need that Donald Trump is a pedophile, that went around with Jeffrey Epstein and abused young women because I guess he got off on the power. I don't know. But yeah, that'll come out. And then so Donald Trump's days are numbered. It must be something awful. I mean, like, I don't know what, right? Oh, the thing, you know what they're doing, the thing before Charlie Kirk got murdered? I noticed this in all the Sinclair media and news outlets. The thing they were doing before the Charlie Kirk thing happened was pushing this. Now, I'm kind of dumb because I don't remember her name. I don't know her, like Urnia something. But this is a young, like 22-year-old Ukrainian refugee who was sitting on a train in DC, and a guy with untreated mental illness killed her. Like, it's on video. He just came up behind her and fucking killed her. And she was, I mean, like, she's already like a refugee, dude. She's like why is she here in DC? Because fucking Putin is invading her country, and she doesn't want to die. Like, so before the Charlie Kirk thing happened, Sinclair media stations like KRNV News for Reno and KATU, not so much KATU, but a little bit, KATU Portland. I think they're both Sinclair, and they were pushing. Maybe not KATU. It's not Sinclair, but I know KRNV is Sinclair. They were pushing this story like 11 times in 3 days, just pushing it over and over and over and over again. Why were they pushing it so much? Because the homeless mentally ill guy with documented history of untreated and mental illness, the guy should have been fucking treated and like not out there. But like, you can say that about a lot of people, right? Right now. Anyways, like, that guy is black, and this woman is blonde haired. So the racists want to take her death and transpose it upon the old southern fucking story of black men killing and raping white women, to stir up that old-timey racism, to dog whistle to their people, like to build up racial tension, that because they're racist. Their legacy is the Confederacy. Like, they literally want to overthrow the American Constitution, because the Americans, are born from the Age of Enlightenment, but the Confederacy is from the Bronze Age. It's literally from the Bronze Age, because it relies on slave labor for their production, whereas the North had industrialized. Like you could try to make an argument that plantation, agrarian slavery production was better than wage slave labor capitalism in the North, but I don't know. I think slavery is a greater alienation because at least the workers are recognized as citizens, right? And if you're a citizen, you have like supposedly you have rights under a country that's based upon rule of law. So that gets back to our Age of Enlightenment like ideals. So right, but the South, or not the South, but the Confederates are against that completely, right? They're anti-woke. They're anti-enlightenment. They're fascists. They're all. We have this hierarchy where we're on top of everyone else, and we're gonna literally make it be that way no matter what. and you can never question our idea. That's based because that's fascism, right? Whoever has the power. So yeah, dudes, we're in a fucking crazy time. I stopped playing Minecraft because like I got tired of it. And I stopped playing RimWorld because I got tired of it too, man. Like, I mean, I got to the point where I would have to like move into like the end game, but then all of it's work. Like, I hate micromanagement. So it's a lot of micromanagement to do that kind of stuff. Which is why I'm not good at StarCraft games. Yeah. What else am I doing here? What else is going on? Donald Trump is a bad man. As long as I'm alive, I can keep talking and say Donald Trump is a bad man. I'm still free. Freedom of speech still exists. This channel's still here. Donald Trump is a bad man. Here, let me I killed my browser. Why did I do that, man? Edge. I gotta do the whole shebang again. And open the guest one. That one. Other profiles. Process guest. Can I like? Yeah, anyways. Let's go to like look up what's happening. Like Reddit's probably easiest, right? Reddit. Let's just look at Reddit real quick. People threatening to boycott Disney after ABC suspends Jimmy Kimmel. Okay, good idea. That's kind of funny. This isn't the America I know. Black people. No. Okay. Man, this is too much. Oh yeah, here, anti-fascists clearing Antifa, anti-fascist forces clearing a Nazi stronghold. Look at those guys, those anti-fascists. So, all right, I don't have anything else to say right now. Donald Trump is a bad man. Charlie Kirk was a bad human being. Political violence is bad. Don't do political violence. Trans rights are human rights. It's fucking awesome to be woke. Why wouldn't you be? Alright, I'll see you later. Peace. Stop. Peace. Stop.